Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call to order the Finance and Labor Relations Subcommittee. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? None noted. Item 3 is allegations. We don't have any schedule. Item 4 is report of the manager of Public Works purchasing policy exemption for a Viking 5 roller pro truck. Take it away, Director.
Yeah, through the chair. I've got Manager of Public Works Adam here, who wrote the report. So I'll have him talk about it. But I just a general overview. As noted, we're looking for an exemption from the purchasing bylaw, as there's only a single source supplier of this piece of equipment. And as noted in the report, it can multitask. Something that was identified in our service delivery review about looking at equipment that can do more than one task. So I think I'll let Adam speak specifically, short brief on the piece of equipment that we're looking at and the success that other municipalities have in using this piece of equipment that they've purchased.
Okay, Adam, you got the floor.
Thanks. Yeah, so speaking to the roll-off truck that we are looking to purchase, it comes down to efficiency. So this truck is able to provide many efficiencies in snow operations as well as summer operations for us, and actually for other departments throughout the city as well. So we'll be looking to utilize it in the winter as an additional road plow and sander. We'd be purchasing the sander body as well, and as well as a liquid tank for direct liquid application. In the event of heavy winter events. The past few seasons, we've been getting into applying salt brine to the roads prior to the event. So the addition of this tank would help us immensely. Currently, we're taking anywhere from 12 to 16 hours to complete a brine treatment, and this particular piece of equipment would cut that down to basically a 4-hour task. So we're looking, to gain quite a bit of staff time from that as well. They can then be utilized in other areas as needed. In the summer, we would be looking to use the tank as well for wetting down roads in front of street sweepers to control dust, and as well as landfill dust control. So that's been a pretty big issue the past few seasons, and we feel that this specific piece of equipment will help us with that. Part of that as well in the report shows the other attachments that are available for this piece. We feel that it could really help us across the board. We could utilize it in cemeteries, parks, as well as the Public Works and Environmental Services Department with the different attachments available. The flatbeds, the dumpsters, the haul bodies. Really, in speaking with other municipalities, the opportunities are really endless with this piece. So we feel that it's a smart decision for us to move this way, and we'd like to pursue it.
Thanks, Adam. Any questions of Adam or Ed or motion? Councillor Bunting.
I'll be pleased to move the motion, and before too long you'll be getting a second one, Adam, maybe.
I was going to ask, a piece of equipment like that, how long would it last? Like, what's the longevity when it does all these multi-tasks as a plow and whatnot? What life expectancy are we expecting?
So typical life expectancy of a vehicle like this is about 10 years. That's what other municipalities are seeing as well with them. We're hoping, though, I mean, if you take care of the truck itself, you can always replace the attachments. So, if there were anything to happen to the hull body or the tank, you can easily swap out the tank and keep the truck rolling. So, and that goes for future replacement as well. If your attachments are in good shape, you replace the truck and you're able to use these attachments.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion on the floor. I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion? That's unanimous. Thanks. Item 5 is retaining a consultant for the 2022 TC bylaw. And I don't know Ed, are you going to report on that? Or?
Yeah, through the chair, I'll be reporting on that. For, again, purchasing bylaw policy exemption that we're requesting here. For consultants, we're normally allowed to direct appoint for up to 60,000. This is, as you can see, it's more. The reason we're asking to go with Watson and Associate is that they've done the last several bylaws for us, the DC bylaws, the background studies, as well as the last 2 finance studies for water and wastewater. So they're quite familiar with the municipality, very familiar with our previous bylaws. And it's the same staff that's worked on those previous bylaws that would be working on the new bylaw if we go with Watson and Associates. As noted, there's a couple of optional items in there if we need to go in that direction with respect to the parks and area benefit charges. But as we go through the process during the bylaw study, they'll look at it as part of the main study, and we'll decide whether they need to do more work, and then we would invoke doing some of that optional work. We may find that we don't need to do that optional work based on the amount of these benefit charges are really related to larger buildings. We don't get a lot of buildings over 5 stories, so it may be not worth our while to pursue that because there just isn't that demand happening here in Stratford. But that'll come out as we go through the background study, and we'll determine whether we need to do that additional work. Included in this is an update to the transit DC. That was done a few years ago, so we'll have that in line with our regular development charges bylaw, because I think that was last done in 2018, 2019. So we'll update that as part of this update. And we'll also include it as work to look at the possible implementation of an industrial development charge. So they will do all that work, come up what the rates would be. Again, then that's a decision of council at the time to decide whether they want to implement it. This is a public process. There'll be a lot of work done during this year, and then early next year there will be the public meetings that are required. But we'll be asking for input from the public. Usually we'll get that from developers here in the city as to what concerns they may have with respect to the development charges and what they'll be. And then we have to have the bylaw in place by April 8th of 2022, because that's when the current one expires. Because once it expires, you can't collect DCs. So we have to have one in place to collect development charges. So,
thanks. Councillor Gaffney.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Ed, I was going to ask, as far as industrial, would we be talking to Invest Stratford? And also, would we be getting a report about what other municipalities our size are doing? Like, I have some concerns. I know we have a motion, but I do have some concerns how we're going to go about
yeah, definitely. Invest Stratford would be part of the conversation here because this is not something we've done before. We definitely be, typically you would look at in any type of DC study. I know council's always asked, well, what are others are paying? And because Watson and Associates does so many of these throughout the province, they can easily provide us numbers as to what municipalities are doing what, because they already have all that information.
Councillor Bunting.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the time line involved. It seems to indicate that the report will not be available until later this year or early next year. I don't know how long it takes them to get these reports out, given their experience, or also the fact that they've done several of these for us in the past. So could it be sooner than that, do you think?
Through the chair, they've identified a schedule to have it, a lot of the work will be done this year, the meetings with everyone, getting the input, and their schedule has it all implemented before the expiration of our current bylaws. So they didn't express any concerns because we're a good year ahead. They're looking at an April start for this thing and having everything wrapped up by the end of March. So they felt that they had plenty of time to get the work done.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thank you.
We do have a motion on the floor. Any other questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? That's unanimous. Item 6, report of deputy clerk. 6.1, the 2020 lottery license activity update. Chris, welcome.
Hello. So through the chair, I'll just provide a quick overview of the report. This report is before you just for information. It is a report that the clerk's office provides on an annual basis around this time of year, just to provide an overview of municipal lottery license activity within the past year. As noted within the report, similar to other activities and events over the last year, COVID-19 has had a significant impact on the number of licenses issued and organizations that have applied for licenses or been able to hold events. That's also a direct reflection of the revenue that has come in as a result for this.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the report? If not, could I have a motion that it be received for information? Moved by Councillor Petey. There's no other questions or comments. I thank you for the report, and I'm going to call the question. All in favor? That's unanimous. Is there anything else that anyone has for this committee today that's burning on their mind? Councillor Gaffney.
I have a question on the Stratford to the World report. Can anybody say whether they're having their event this year or not, or has it been put off again?
Yeah, I'm on that committee. It's been put off. We had a get together since then, and that's their own minutes. We had a meeting maybe a couple months ago, so it's postponed for another year, and hopefully we'll have it in 2022 in Stratford. That's our plan, but you never know, and it's been pretty complicated because we had people that had paid into it already, and we had to pay some back, and some don't want it back. So it's been quite a thing for us and the city, quite frankly. Any other questions or comments about anything else? Okay, our next subcommittee meeting is April 20th at 3:30. If there's nothing else, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Ritzma. All in favor? Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to everyone later.